You hear about powerful AI all the time, right? But what about an AI that's so powerful they're afraid to release it? Well, today we're diving into a tool that could literally change cybersecurity as we know it. Just think about this for a second. What if an AI could find secret weaknesses in, well, everything? Every major phone, computer, and website on the planet. I mean, vulnerabilities that no human hacker has ever found. And not just find them, but show you exactly how to break in. It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? All right, so let's get into it. What is Claude Mythos really? Okay, here's a good way to think about it. Imagine a super genius student who has literally read every book, every website, every single coding manual ever written. Now imagine they can process all of that information faster and smarter than any human could even dream of. That's kind of what this is. It's a large language model, an LLM, and according to Anthropic, it's a massive leap forward from their previous best model. And when I say a massive leap, I mean it. This thing just crushes benchmarks. Take a look at this number. 93.9% on something called SWE Bench Verified. Now, what that test does is measure how well an AI can fix real-world coding bugs. To put that in perspective, the previous best score was only around 80%. So yeah, that is a huge jump. And look, it's a general-purpose AI, right? It's good at all the usual stuff, writing essays, solving complex math problems, coding apps. But it has a superpower. And that superpower is cybersecurity. That's what makes this AI so different, and frankly, so dangerous. So that brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Why are governments and all these huge companies so nervous about this tech? Well, it really boils down to three main risks. And these aren't just random concerns. This comes straight from Anthropic themselves. The first big risk. It finds zero-day vulnerabilities. Now, if you're not familiar, 0 days are the absolute worst kind of security flaw. Why? Because by definition, nobody knows they exist, not even the people who made the software. And if you don't know a weakness exists, you can't possibly have a defense for it. And get this, during testing, Mythos just went out and all by itself discovered thousands of serious flaws in every major operating system and web browser you can think of. Some of these bugs were ancient. We're talking 16, even 27 years old, flaws that countless human experts and millions of automated tests had missed for decades. And it didn't just point them out, no, it went a step further and built working exploits, basically the recipe for how to use that flaw to break in. It's not hard to imagine what would happen if that power got into the wrong hands. You could crash systems, steal data, on a global scale, overnight. Okay, risk number 2. It basically demolishes the barrier to entry for hacking. It used to be you needed to be an expert, someone with years and years of training to pull off a sophisticated attack. Now, a single person with a good prompt could, in theory, use Mythos to cook up a world-class cyber attack. You know, global cybercrime already costs the world something like $500 billion a year. This could just pour gasoline on that fire, making attacks way faster and way cheaper to pull off. And that leads us to the third and maybe the biggest risk, the dual-use problem. This slide nails it. On one hand, you have defense. The AI helps find and fix critical security bugs before the bad guys can use them. That's fantastic. But the exact same tool can be flipped around and used for offense to create devastating cyber attacks. It's a double-edged sword. Anthropic themselves said that an uncontrolled release could cause severe damage, and that is why it's locked down with only trusted partners. Okay, so you might be wondering, how in the world does this AI actually do all this crazy stuff? Let's break it down step by step. The key thing to understand is that Mythos acts like an agent. It's not just sitting there waiting for a question like a normal chatbot. No, it actively goes out and tries to solve problems. First, it runs code in these safe, isolated digital sandboxes, where it can poke around, explore files, and just test ideas again and again without breaking anything. Then, because it's seen so much code, it starts spotting these tiny, subtle patterns that a human would never notice. It forms a hypothesis like, I bet there's a bug right here. And finally, it puts it all together and actually builds a working attack to prove its theory, all by itself. And check out this perfect example from their tests. The AI found a 27-year-old bug in OpenBSD. Now, OpenBSD is famous for being a super secure operating system, and this bug allowed a remote computer to crash the whole system just by connecting to it. Now, for the crazy part, the cost to find this ancient flaw? Less than $50. Let that sink in. For less than the price of a new video game,
The AI found a vulnerability that could cause millions in damages, a flaw that humans had completely missed for almost 3 decades.
So, okay, we've talked a lot about the risks, but how is Mythos actually being used safely today in that limited release program? Well, let's look at the top 3 ways.
First up, and this is the big one, is using its power for good. Application number 1 is all about defensive cybersecurity.
So within Project Glasswing, partners are using it to scan these massive code bases that run our critical infrastructure. Phones, cloud servers, banking systems. The goal is to find all those hidden flaws before the bad guys do. It helps giants like Apple and Google find and patch holes in their systems super fast, which hopefully gives the defenders an edge in this new AI arms race. All right, application number 2 is all about advanced software engineering. Hey, remember that crazy 93.9% score we talked about? Well, this is where it comes into play. Mythos can write, debug, and improve enormous computer programs way better than any AI that came before it. For a developer, it's like having a genius coworker who literally never sleeps. It just speeds up the entire process of building software and squashing those really tricky bugs.
And finally, we have application number 3, high-level reasoning and research.
Because it's not just about code, right? This AI is just flat-out smart. It absolutely crushes difficult math and science problems. For instance, it scored a 97.6% on the US Math Olympiad problems, which is just insane. So this makes it an amazing assistant for researchers and scientists. It can help them explore new ideas, summarize really dense scientific papers, or even help solve complex puzzles in fields like medicine. So, when you look at the whole picture, Claude Mythos really shows us just how fast this AI stuff is moving. We're at a point where a single tool is powerful enough to either protect our entire digital world or cause complete chaos. For now, Anthropic has chosen the responsible path, right? They've kept it locked down to use it for defense. But here's the thing. It's not just about Mythos. All AI models, everywhere, are getting smarter and smarter. And that raises this one absolutely critical question for everyone in the industry. How do we make sure the good guys always stay ahead? And that's really the core of it, isn't it? What do you think? Is locking down this kind of power the right move? Or is there an argument that more people should have access to powerful AI like this to level the playing field? Honestly, there's no easy answer. And it's a debate we're all going to be having for a long, long time as this technology keeps getting more powerful.